with Mbappe leaving PSG, they're going to need to replace him. Now, there's no player right now that they can possibly buy that will go in and just replace Mbappe's production. Maybe they look at it like, we could go to Liverpool and possibly sign Mo Salah. I think maybe he can go to PSG and kind of produce the same output as Mbappe, but the odds of that happening are very slim. So there's been a few names that have been linked, but the name that keeps popping up the most is Rafael Leão. Now, he's a good player. This guy plays on the left. He could play centrally, and he's a player for AC Milan. I think he's Portuguese as well. Yes, he is. He's a baller. Now, his market value is 90 million. And I think you're going to have to pay a lot more than that to sign him, especially if you're PSG. Clubs are going to know that you're desperate. Clubs are going to know that you need to replace Mbappe, and they're going to overcharge you. And you're an oil club as well, so we know that you have the P's. So I think if his transfer market value is 90 million euros, you're probably going to have to pay 140 to sign him, if I'm being honest. Now, I don't know how long his contract is at AC Milan. That can also play a factor as well. So if his deal runs out soon, then, okay, you will be able to get him for cheaper. But I'm thinking that he has years left on his deal. So I'm thinking that you're going to have to pay over 100 million. I'll just say that. It'll be over 100 M's to sign this guy. He's a good player, though. I don't know if he'll be able to go in there and just replace Mbappe and that production that he's able to do. But Leão, he's solid, 24 years old. I don't think he's going to ever be world class, but I think he's the level below that. Now, maybe if he goes to PSG, that league is a bit easier than what it is in Italy, so maybe he will be able to put up crazy numbers, but I think he fits a nice profile. I think a lot of teams would want to sign him. He's tall, he's physical, he's fast, he can dribble a little bit, he has good vision, and he can finish as well. I think that his scoring is a bit overrated, the way that people kind of talk about him, because he's not a goal-scoring machine. I think he only has about, 3 or 4 goals in Serie A this season, but I think he also does have 8 assists. So, for me, I think he would be a good signing. It will be a bit pricey, and I don't know if I'd be comfortable spending so much money on him, but if PSG can get a good price for him, then yeah, I think you do this deal. Now, for them to replace Mbappe, I think it's going to take more than Leão. You're going to have to do other transfers as well. I think PSG need about 3 players to be bringing in to replace Mbappe and to also keep their fans happy, because losing one of the most valuable players in the world for nothing has to be crazy. Like, if I'm PSG, I'd be pissed off right now that Mbappe could possibly be leaving for free. This is the guy that you should be getting at least 300 million for, right? I mean, the way that the football market is inflated, he's the best attacker in the world. I mean, you see what this guy does. He's a big game player. Mbappe is him. I don't care what nobody says. He's better than Haaland. He's better than all these guys. Mbappe is the guy, okay? Haaland is somebody that just, he needs good service, and he's an in-the-box merchant. I'm just going to call it what it is. Mbappe could pick up the ball at the halfway line, carry it past a few guys, dribble around, and score. Haaland's not doing that. You have to put the right pass into him. And he gets great service playing at Dortmund. He was getting good service, and he's also getting good service playing at Man City as well. So, look, for me, Mbappe is the guy. PSG are going to have a hard time to replace him, but they have the money to do so. Even though they're not going to get no bread for him, they do have the funds to go out there and sign promising players. And I don't really know what the plan for PSG is this summer if Mbappe does leave. I think they're going to have to kind of call it a rebuild, because you think about it. In the last 2 years, they've lost Messi, Neymar, now possibly Mbappe. I mean, those are 3 of the biggest name players in the world, arguably. So they weren't even able to win a Champions League with those guys. So I don't really see how a Champions League happens for them in the near future. But sometimes you can say, even though you lose your star players, that could be a blessing in disguise, because now you can maybe have a more balanced team, right? And, maybe they're able to spread the goals around instead of your main focus just being on one guy, which is Mbappe. So we'll see. But PSG, they'll still have a good squad, and they will still be relevant because they will be spending money to make sure that they're in and around the conversation for one of the best teams in the world. But yeah, I think they should just go with a youth kind of movement, look for players with a lot of potential that they can develop and hopefully make world class, and then they could possibly still win a Champions League. I don't know. Point is, Rafael Leão is a very good player, and I think it's going to be a very hard deal to get done. I don't think AC Milan would want to sell him. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that he also came out, and I swear I've seen reports from him saying that he'd like to stay. So it's not going to be an easy deal to get done, but I think PSG will have the funds to make this deal happen if they really do want him. But I didn't know what you guys think. I rate him. I think he's a good player. I think a lot of clubs will be in for him, and that will only just drive the price up. But we'll see. PSG need to be getting on their transfer business for the summer now. They need to be trying to work out deals now. I try to even sign him before Mbappe announces his decision, because once that Mbappe to Real Madrid, here we go tweet comes out, the price that everybody's going to charge you is going to skyrocket. So try to get the deal done now when there's still some uncertainty on whether he's going to stay or not. And then guess what? If Mbappe does decide to stay, he will be called an idiot by me, because you should be going to Real Madrid. But then if you have Mbappe and Rafael Leão, is that a bad thing? No. So this is a player that I think PSG should be looking at anyways, personally. But yeah, get in the comment section though. Let me know what you guys think about that. Where are we going?